What's up, everybody? My name is Justin Peterson, and I am so excited to be able to share some information with you that has absolutely transformed my life in such a positive way. Whenever I heard about this about a year and a half ago, I was formerly a life insurance agent, and this gave me the opportunity to really live life by design rather than default. And your friend is sharing this video with you because you may or may not be interested in what we're about to go over, but what I can guarantee you is that this is an option. This is an option that gives you the ability to live life to the fullest, have freedom and flexibility and fulfillment beyond anything of your imagination. And the first thing that I want to talk about is businesses of today that are really making it happen. I mean, the movers and shakers of businesses today, they have 5 characteristics. The first of which is they simplify a process, they simplify a service. The second of which is that they disrupt the price. They make it way more affordable. Third is they have a noble cause associated with what they're doing. This is more important now than ever because we have the ability through the emergence of social media and modern technology to really know what the leaders, the executives behind these companies are all about. If they have a noble mission behind their cause, behind their business, they're definitely bound to be successful. 4, not easily duplicated. That just simply means that competitors can't come, pop up across the street and put you out of business. And lastly, you have to have an app. That's just where we are today. But if you have one of the 5, you're going to be fine. 5 of the 5, you're just completely unstoppable. But let's look at a couple of examples. I think that if you grasp this concept, it just everything just makes sense. One of probably the best examples is what happened to the taxi industry. Think about it. Uber came along, made it way more simple, disrupted the price. Noble cause gives people the ability to make extra money, from just their car, and it's only ever been duplicated once by Lyft. And of course, it is an app. Blockbuster. It's like America's pastime. What came along? Netflix. You can stream your movies from your bed, from your couch, without ever having to leave the comfort of your home, and you pay a little bit a month and have unlimited access to what you would have paid $6 or $7 for a Blockbuster. Hotels, of course, you have Airbnb coming out. If you haven't used that yet, it is incredible. I spent 2 weeks in Europe over New Year's, never once stayed at a hotel and paid a fraction of the price. And by staying at Airbnbs, I was right next to all the coolest spots. It was an amazing trip. Film, what happened with this? Well, of course, Instagram. An app comes along. In 12 months of this app being, this business being around, it was once a website, and then they launched an app. They were purchased for $1 billion by Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook. That's the world we live in today, okay? So we see the trends that are happening with disruptive innovations. Let's look at what we are excited to talk about, because the industry that we're shaking up is the legal industry, which for the longest time has been expensive, unresponsive, and unaccountable. Not because it's broken, it's just because that's how it is. That's the system that's in place right now. And it's not that anything's wrong with it necessarily, it's just that most people can't afford it. Whenever attorneys cost $300, $400 an hour, and we're making $15, $20, $25 an hour, there's such a big gap that something has to be filled. And so that's where we created Legal Shield. We launched an app just a handful of years ago that actually changes everything and makes it more affordable, accountable, and responsive. But the app's only been around for a couple of years. Let's look at the company that's supporting the app, because the company's been around since 1972. It's a 45-year-old company. We like to say that we're a 45-year-old startup because we've been around for such a long time, but we have just innovated everything by the launch of the app. It was launched by this gentleman named Harlan Stonecipher in the corner. He was in this car accident in 1969, which was not his fault. The other driver was ticketed at fault, yet they still brought him to court and almost bankrupted him from defending himself. He even came out on top, but still, he spent so much money and he was in such a financial burden that he said, if I'm in this situation, other people have to be too, so let's create a solution. And that's why he launched Legal Shield. And now we have provider law firms in every single state in the United States and 4 provinces of Canada. The Better Business Bureau gives us an A+ rating, and Facebook gives us 4.7 out of 5 stars, okay? So our purpose is really simple. Noble cause, characteristic number 3, right? We want to protect and empower people. Our vision is to provide equal access to the liberty, equality, opportunity, and justice that every human deserves and expects. And so let's get right into it, okay? Characteristic number 1, simplicity. The first button that says call your law firm, whenever you press it, of course it calls your law firm, right? And what does it do? A handful of things. One of which is you get unlimited Personal consultation, unlimited. You pick up the phone, you tap the app, press the button, you talk to an attorney, ask them as many questions as you want to, keep them on the phone as long as you need to until your question is answered. That right there is worth the price of the membership if that was the only thing that we offered. Letters and phone calls, I'll give you a story behind this because this is really representative of the power of this membership, okay? Because a lot of people think, attorneys, you only need them whenever you get in trouble. And it's just completely the opposite. You need them so often, it's just most of the time we don't have access to them until this. My friend John stayed at a hotel in California. He booked a hotel for Friday and Saturday night. Upon check-in, he notified the hotel clerk that he did not need Saturday. He was cutting his trip short. Stayed there Friday night, flew back that next week, checked his credit card statement, and he was billed for both nights. So called the hotel to try to actually, get his money back for the hotel room he never used. Long story short, they refused to refund his money. So he said, hey, no problem. You're just doing your job. Tap the app, talk to the law firm, explain the situation. The attorney called the hotel on his behalf, and what do you know? Because the attorney got involved, he got his $225 refunded on his credit card for the hotel stay that he never stayed in. So that right there is a perfect example. Letters. So I rented an apartment last year for 12 months. I have a 20-pound bulldog. She had an accident on the carpet once throughout that year. There was a stain in the carpet whenever I moved everything out. Long story short, they tried to charge me $900, not to clean the stain, but to replace all the carpets in the apartment. Obviously, that was pretty unreasonable. So I looked at my lease and I saw that I paid them $540 in a pet deposit fee and convenience fees every month just for having the dog. So I said, hey, look, I'm not going to argue. Let me pay the difference between what I've already paid you and what it costs to replace all the carpets. I didn't want any trouble, but they wouldn't accept that. So I said, hey, no problem. You're just doing your job. Tap the app, talk to my law firm, explain the situation. And they said, we'll take it from here. They typed up a letter, put it on attorney letterhead, sent it to the apartment manager. And that same afternoon, they received the email or the letter from my law firm stating the exact same thing that I offered them and they turned me down in person for. They accepted. Why? Because an attorney changes everything. What did that cost me? Nothing. That is the value here. And I'll tell you one thing. While I had the ability to know that that wasn't fair, some people just get taken advantage of in those situations. And I don't think it's too far to stretch that in America, there are some people who look across the desk and say, because of the color of their skin, they don't know I can't get away with this. Or because of the way that they speak, their accent, or the way that they dress, they don't know I can't get away with this. And they do every single time. And that is injustice. That's not okay. And that's what we are here to fix. Let's keep going. So documents and contracts, we were always taught to read everything before you sign it. Actually turns out it's miserable advice unless you have a law degree because we don't know what the heck's in it anyway. So instead, take a picture of the contract, send it to your law firm. They'll call you back, translate it for you, tell you if it's okay or not to sign. If it's not, they'll tell you what needs to be changed. If you ever get audited by the IRS, we'll send in a tax attorney with you to the audit. If anybody ever sues you, you have up to 60 hours of defense trial time paid for in your first year. Those 60 hours roll over every year up to 300, so you're protected, okay? Family and domestic services after 90 days, uncontested divorces, adoptions, separations, and name change. We take care of those. Moving on, speeding tickets. I love this one, even though for some reason I have not been able to use it. I'm not complaining, but here's the deal. We all get speeding tickets because we all speed. It's just a matter of whenever we happen to get the bad luck to get caught. Now, when that happens, all you have to do is press the second button and literally take a picture of the citation like you see on the screen, press send, it goes to your law firm, they call you back within 8 hours, and they assign an attorney to represent you in court. You don't even have to show up unless your state requires it. And that is all taken care of for no attorney fees. That one right there, I love it. Moving on, preparation of your will, living will, and healthcare power of attorney. 7 out of 10 Americans statistically do not have their will prepared. And mainly it's because it takes so long talking to an attorney about what happens when you die, and it costs between $1,000 and $2,000 on average. Most people never want to do that. Plus, we never plan on dying next week, so it never really makes it in our schedule anyway. But with this, it's taken care of, it's simplified, and it's absolutely free. And every 12 months, we update it. Okay, jumping down to the last button. This right here, guys, I truly believe, without any exaggeration, I think that this one feature on our service has the potential to actually change the world. We talk about be the change you want to see in the world, okay? And let's start with our cities, our neighborhoods, our cities, our states, our country, and ultimately the world. What this does is it gives our members 24/7 emergency legal access. I'm talking about, I don't care what time of the day it is. I don't care if it's New Year, 12 o'clock on New Year's or Christmas morning or 3 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. It doesn't matter. You press this button for whatever reason, and in a handful of rings, an attorney gets on the phone to represent you. So let me give you one story here that I think is pretty powerful. This happened about a little over a year ago in Charlotte, North Carolina. There was a group of college students who were out one night. And there was one of them who was the designated driver. Friday night, he gets a call from his buddies asking them to come and pick him up from a house party. So this designated driver goes to a house and picks up his two friends. There's an extra friend who happens to live in the same apartment complex and hitches a ride. So he says, no problem, come on in. Drives around the corner. Of course, it's Friday night in a college town. There's a routine license check. The cop asks if he's been drinking. The guy says, no, I haven't. I'm the DD. The cop then replies and says, would you mind if I looked around the car? Well, knowing that he hadn't done anything wrong, he said, no problem, and complied. Everyone got out of the car. The cop found a blunt of marijuana in the backpack of that third guy's bag. So all of a sudden, they're being arrested for possession. Well, luckily, the driver had this app. And he said, officer, respectfully, I need to get my attorney on the phone at this point. And keep in mind, this is like 1 o'clock in the morning. But he has that ability. So he taps the red button, gets his attorney on the phone, and the attorney says, pass the phone to the police officer. And what he did was just politely remind the police officer that there's no way you can convict 4 people on possession of 1 blunt. So what happened? The driver, who is protected by a legal shield, goes home. The other 3 spent Friday night in jail, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and Monday morning in jail until they could see the judge on Monday afternoon. Of course, only one of them got in trouble because he admitted to it, but the other 2, nonetheless, because they didn't have access to the rights, spent the weekend in jail. That is a difference maker, and can you imagine all the other scenarios that this would come in handy with? So let's keep going. This is a catch-all slide. If anything's not covered 100% for free because you're a member of these law firms, you get a 25% preferred member discount. So that's obvious things like criminal activity. That's not going to be covered for free if you go rob a bank, sorry, but we don't have your back 100%, but we will give you a discount, okay? So everything is covered. Only some things, very few, are covered at a discount and not completely for free in the membership. So here's our obvious question that we like to ask anyway, because it just kind of proves the point. Which would you rather choose? The traditional way, which is around $250 per hour for an attorney, or $20 a month for an entire law firm in every single state in the country and 4 provinces of Canada. Transitioning. So we have 2 primary apps, okay? Legal Shield and then ID Shield. So there's a huge problem that's everyone's facing, and it's that criminals don't want your identity necessarily. Your money. They want your identity, okay? And that's how they get your money. So we have ID Shield, which monitors virtually everything you want them to keep their eyes on, from credit score, social security numbers, passports, driver's license, all the way to the black market website surveillance, and even your social media accounts. You can plug in your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, and they'll monitor all those. So with Legal Shield, you tap an app and you talk to an attorney. With ID Shield, you tap an app and you talk to a licensed private investigator. How cool is that? And if anything does happen to your identity, we offer a complete comprehensive restoration, and our promise is that we'll do whatever it takes, as long as it takes, to clear your record for life, and we back it up with a $5 million service guarantee. So with these 2 apps, these 2 services, what's the price? Remember, characteristic number 2, disruptive. We want to disrupt the price, okay? Well, if you're married, if you have a family, for both of those services, it's $39.90 a month. Just a little over $1 a day. If you want one or the other, $19.95. And if you're single, it's $29, or $27 or $29. And of course, you can see the price for individually as well with a one-time $10 activation fee, okay? So talk about disruption. That's amazing. And here's one last thing. I skipped over this earlier, but it's important to talk about at the end, which is the 5th button, member perks. So the concept here is simple. While we have taken the price of an attorney from $250, $300 an hour down to less than $1 a day, $19.95 a month, there are still some people in America that can't even swing that. But it's so important that we empower everybody, regardless of how much money they're able to spend, to be protected, that we partnered up with over 400 companies across America to give our members exclusive discounts. So continue to shop everywhere you are going to, but before you spend your money, tap the fifth button on the app. Just type in, for example, Oakley before you buy a pair of sunglasses and see the discount. So you don't change anything. You just keep more money in your pocket every month than you would have originally, because what we want to do is allow this membership to save you more money than you spend every month on the actual membership. That's what we're trying to do here. Okay, so let's transition real fast. I'm telling you, this stuff gets me so excited, okay, because this is what has made such a dramatic difference in my life. And it's simply the explanation of how the business works. How do people hear about this? And it's through word of mouth, okay? And here is why. Because Legal Shield has a corporate marketing budget, just like any other company. And they have the ability to choose how they want to spend it. Well, what they did whenever they launched this app was they reviewed all the other companies and which one's working the best. And what do you know? Mark Zuckerberg is quite a genius, because if you look at his business model, he created a product so extraordinary that he said that their constituents were going to tell other people about it, whether they paid them or not. So their marketing budget was virtually nothing. Well, same thing happened with Instagram and Twitter and all these other apps and services. We just told people about it. It's how it works. And then Uber comes along, and Uber spices it up a little bit. They sweeten the pot. They say, look, we're going to do the same model as Zuckerberg. We're going to have our constituents tell their friends about it, but we're actually going to incentivize that conversation. And anytime you tell somebody else about Uber and they download it because of you, we're going to give you a $20 free ride on us. Okay, so they incentivize that interaction. Well, guess what? It worked, and it worked a lot faster than Facebook, because think about it. It took Zuckerberg maybe like 10 years or so to get to where they are today. How long has Uber even been around? When do you remember hearing about them for the first time? Taxis have been around for over 100 years. And in a matter of 3 years, Uber virtually eliminated them through this exact same style of marketing that we're participating in as well. Only difference is we sweeten the pot even more, because whenever you recommend Legal Shield to somebody and they get the membership, we pay you in commissions from $60 per app download to $280 as long as they get the membership. Of course, the free app you don't get paid anything for. They have to actually get the membership. But how amazing is that? Think about that for a second. Let's take 2 seconds. You refer somebody an app, just like people download YouTube and buy YouTube Red or Netflix and pay $12 a month for a Spotify Premium, Pandora One, whatever you want to call it. We tell people about these services all the time. They download them and pay monthly. If you do that with this, we pay you from our corporate marketing budget between $60 and $280. If you can't get excited about that, then you might as well end the video, okay? But if that does excite you like it excited me, let me go into just a little bit more detail about our compensation plan, or really our marketing strategy, okay? If you get started with us, you start at a $60 commission level, okay? Which means that if you refer the Legal Shield and ID Shield to a family, we will pay you $60, even better, the next day. The next business day in direct deposits. So we don't wait for a bi-weekly check or a monthly check. No, you refer this app to this membership to somebody on a Monday, we release commissions to you on Tuesday. Give your bank 24 hours or so to process it. You can take it out of the ATM on Wednesday. And that's how it works. Pretty exciting. Of course, there's always promotions. So upon the first one, if you refer this to 3 people and at least one of them wants to become an associate and work with us, or you just refer it to 6 people and don't tell anybody about the business. Nonetheless, you get a promotion, your commissions are doubled, so the next time you make twice as much, and you get a bonus every time you do that. Normally it's $180 just for doing that in your first 20 days. So let's keep going. Of course, it goes up and up and up all the way to $280. Here's something exciting. If you choose to build a team, which I highly recommend, you have the ability also to earn overrides. Just like the broker in charge of a real estate agency makes money in overrides whenever their agents sell a house, same opportunity here. This is our ability to scale this business as quickly as possible. So as an example, okay, on the right, team overrides. In between each rank, there is an amount, okay? And you make the combination of these numbers in between your rank and the person on your team. So as an example, let's look at the director level, okay? Let's say that you are a director, you bring somebody on your team who starts as an associate, okay? They make a sale, they make $60, and you make the combination of 30, 20, 20, and 20. So that would be $60 yourself. So you help somebody make a sale, they make 60 and you make 60. Look at executive director. Your associate makes a sale, they make 60. You make the combination of $180. That's how it gets so incredibly powerful. But of course it gets better, okay? It gets better because all it takes to get started is $99. That can fit literally from one bill. One bill, you start your business. Compare that to a franchise. It costs $250,000 or $500,000 or more to start. Listen, $99 gets you your own small business in America, and we put you in profit mode in a matter of a handful of days or even a handful of hours, depending on how ambitious you are. Because here's how it works. Step 1, market a membership. You get paid $60. Step 2, market 3 memberships, and one person comes on board. You've made $180 in commissions. Do that in your first 20 days, and we'll give you another $180 in a bonus. So you see the math? You're at $261 in profit. Just like that. Nowhere else can you do that. Okay, real quick, power of leverage. This is so crucial. Let's say that in 5 years, okay, you stay at a job as an example. Job is nothing wrong with jobs. They pay the bills. This is just an analogy of if you work a job, you're the only person contributing to your household income. If you get sick or if you quit and you stop working, they stop paying. But with Legal Shield in this concept, let's say that you recruit 5 people into your business. Now you have 5 people upon the first year who are contributing to your income. Let's say it duplicates 5-fold every year up to 5 years. At the 5th year, you have 3,125 people contributing to your income. Just like with Uber, there's thousands and thousands of people that every time they pick somebody up, the owner of Uber gets paid. He doesn't need every single driver to pick somebody up every single day to pay his bills. He just needs a few. Same with us. Let's say that only 10% of these 3,000 just sell 1 membership a month. Well, at the rank you'd be at with those numbers, that would be $15,000 in monthly commissions. Pretty powerful. The last way we get paid is in back-end continuous residual income. This is the way to wealth. Here's an example. You have car insurance, right? Somebody sold you your car insurance policy one time, one day, but every single month you continue to pay for it because you never know when you're going to need it. You have to have it if you have a car in America. So same deal. If you market a Legal Shield membership, you market it one time, but that member continues to pay the membership every single month. So you continue to get paid a percentage of that monthly membership fee every single month forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Amen. As long as the member keeps the membership. You are the reason why they have it, right? So wouldn't it make sense you continue to get compensated for it? We believe so. Here's our track record. We've been around for 45 years. Right now, we have over 400 people making a 6-figure plus income. We have created 230 millionaires. Keep in mind, this was before the app even came about. We were marketing a plastic card you kept in your wallet with a 1-800 number on it. And in the last 10 years, we've paid out $1 billion in commissions. We have Performance Club, which is pretty cool. Every 90 days, they pay for us to go on a all expenses paid trip, vacation. We're just in the Atlantis. We went to Cancun before that. We're going to see John Maxwell in Ohio in September. We're going to Universal Studios and Disney for our holiday trip. We're going to Jamaica next year. So every 90 days, we go on a trip, completely paid for. It's super easy to qualify. And here you go. Let's recap real fast. The world's largest taxi company owns no vehicles. The largest overnight accommodations provider owns no hotels. The most popular media provider creates no content. The leading movie rental company owns no theaters. And we provide legal services in 50 states and 4 provinces of Canada and own no law firms. Guys, to me, those are the stars aligning. That just makes sense to me. So here's the last thing I want to share. And this is super important because all this information is fantastic. I hope that you see the value in what we're talking about and why we're so excited. But what sold me a year and a half ago is hearing about the CEO that started in Legal Shield just 2 years ago. This guy's name is Jeff Bell, formerly the vice president of Microsoft. This guy is known for going into companies and 10xing their production, 10xing their revenues, just absolutely exploding their growth. Everything he's touched has virtually turned to gold. Whenever he was the VP of Microsoft, he took Xbox Live and literally multiplied the subscription base 10 times. He was responsible for launching the Chrysler 300 for Chrysler. and the Jeep Wrangler 4-door for Jeep. And he's now our CEO, and his vision is that in the next 3 years, he's going to take everything that we've ever done since 1972 and multiply it by 10. So you saw those numbers of over 400 six-figure earners. We're talking we need 4,000 six-figure earners, 230 millionaires. We need 2,300 millionaires created in the next 3 years. And not to mention the tens of thousands of small success stories where you're making $500 to $1,000 a month. We need more success stories. Guys, this is going to happen. It's going to happen no matter what in a really short amount of time. That's our goal. And with Jeff Bell as the captain, we know it's going to happen. It's going to happen with or without us. It might as well be with us. So if this makes sense for you, if this is something that you feel you can really run with, guys, don't waste any time. Get back to the person who invited you to watch this video and get every single question you have answered as quickly as possible, because this could be your big break. My name is Justin Peterson. Thank you so much for sticking with me and watching this video. I hope you have a phenomenal day, and I hope I get to talk to you soon. Peace.